Thanks. Oh yeah.
It's Sunday night.
It's 9/11. 9/11.
It's 9/11 on 9/11.
Well, 8:43
p.m. But
Okay.
Jesse and the Hogg brothers, you just came back from.
We just got back from a little mini Midwest tour. We're going back out in October on the 14th. We're going to be in Louisville, and we got some dates around that too. But we just got back. We went out and we played in St. Louis on Friday night at a place called the Way Out, and it was Way Out. What a beautiful stage they had built. We didn't utilize it, but they actually have like a back area dressing room and a stairway you can go up to come up on stage. So I guess if you were really famous, they have an area to quarantine you. But we weren't getting, like, no one was tearing our clothes off or anything like that. So we just basically set up and everyone saw us the whole time. But that was really cool. They had lots of beautiful stuff all over the bars. They had like a woman's hand glass figurine with like a cigarette that had the Camel logo on it and lipstick on the tip of the cigarette, and it was mint condition. I mean, I don't know how many of those survived. There were things like from the 40s, the 30s, and the owner there was this guy Bob, and he was fascinating to talk to. And Lisa Marie collects, and she loves to work with anything antique, and so she's very much into that. So her and Bob were talking about different items, and she was so happy that she found a vintage Camel sign that she also has one. And she says, "That one over there?" She goes, "I've got one of those." He goes, "Yeah." There's not many of those. And of course, that was the story of everything in there. So we started. We were scheduled to play opening up and go on at 9. There was a couple of delays with the sound guy. We didn't start till about 10 past, and it was great because the day before the show, I get a call from Kenny Hogg, he's one of the guys who we play with all the time. When we play out in the Midwest, Kenny's my cousin. When we play out in the Midwest, Kenny usually does, but when I mean Midwest with him, I mean South Midwest, so Texas, Las Vegas, stuff like that. So he ends up saying to me, "I'm going to be in St. Louis on Friday. I noticed you have a show. Can I sit in?" So we had the extra bonus of Kenny. So what that allows us to do on stage, now we got 4 mics up front, and we got 4-part harmonies, which is not a normal Hogg show. You get 2 people, 3 people singing. If you get 4, it's maybe one song where maybe someone's going to lean to the mic. So we had 4-part harmonies on some songs, and then when Pappy decides to sing, then we had 5 people singing. So it was beautiful from a vocal standpoint. And Paula was taking some videos, so hopefully we'll have some videos we'll be able to post, because I'm really curious to hear those, because with all the vocals going on, it will sound different than a lot of the videos that we have up on the web.
Can't wait.
And then we had a show next morning, and for those that don't know, when you're driving from St. Louis to New Albany, which is basically we drove across the state of Indiana. We went basically, you leave, St. Louis is right at the tip of Illinois. So as soon as you leave St. Louis, you're in Illinois. And then from there we get in and we're driving the entire length of Indiana. We go from one side to the other. And we
call Kentuckyana.
And around that area, they call the area Kentuckyana. And there's a lot of little cities and towns in both Kentucky and Indiana that they have. In fact, in the downtown area we played in downtown New Albany. And I remember the first time I was out in New Albany was like 4 years ago, and it was a pretty quiet place. And people have been moving in. I'm sure it looks like a dynamite place to live, because the downtown area it's just quaint. It reminds me more of being up on, say, the east side of Providence or in Harvard Square, not in terms of the arts of it, but in terms of there's a lot of